Hi everyone, Vicky here. I hope you're all well. So today I'm going to show you how I made these backgrounds and also how I transformed one of them into a couple of cards. So this is the Conversation Hearts stencil from Fawn. So you get two stencils, so you get the hearts and then the little sayings, so they're kind of like the love heart sweets that you get. So I am going to do this on a nice big piece of smooth stamping card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some low-tack tape and I'm going to stick my stencil down to the paper. Doing it this way and then trimming it down will mean it's just a little bit easier for keeping the stencil still, because I can just tape it on either side. I'm not going to interfere with any of my pattern. So I am going to do the whole background. So I'm going to use this Distress Oxide. Can't speak today, I do apologise. And I'm actually going to just do all of the hearts on this particular background in this lovely grey colour. So I want to go for quite a monochromatic look. Yes, I'm using the word monochromatic again. I like the word. It's a great word. So I'm just using a blending brush just to rub that on, and I am doing little circle motions because they are quite big spaces inside these hearts, and I'm just scrubbing both ways to make sure I get into all the nooks and crannies of the stencil and get a pretty decent coverage. I have recently discovered stencils because I've seen quite a few videos on them and I kind of wanted to give them a try. And I'm not going to lie, I'm ever so slightly a little bit in love with stencils at the minute. They are great for backgrounds, so I had a lot of fun doing these. So apologies again for the shakiness as well. You know what my desk gets like when I'm using blending brushes and doing inky backgrounds. So sorry about that, guys. So I'll take that off and just show you how those hearts come out. I'm just trying to get my fingers under. So that is how that comes out, and it just makes beautiful hearts. I clean that off, and then I'm using one lipstick, carved pumpkin, squeezed lemonade, wilted violet, mowed lawn and blueprint sketch to do a rainbow on the second one. So as I say, I've just cleaned it down and stuck it on a fresh piece of paper. So what I'm doing here is just layering it up. So the very top row is going to be all of the pinky ready colour, and then I'll just go a part way into the next row of hearts with that colour. And then what I'll do is, once I've inked up those bits that I want to be the pinky ready colour, I'll move on to my orange and I'll just blend that up into the pink and then use that to go slightly into the next heart down. So what I'm aiming for is to have a nice rainbow gradient from top to bottom with these. Distress oxides are great for using with stencils. They blend really nicely. They give a really nice vibrant colour, most of them as well, which is great. So I'm going to go in with my yellow next. As you can see, even just looking at it on top of the stencil, it looks kind of really pretty. Like, I really like the effect that it gives. I'm going to go back in with a bit more orange because I kind of went a bit too far, I think, with my orange. Oh no, I thought I had. Never mind. I did this a couple of days ago and I'm only just getting around to the voice recording, so I do apologise. So then I'm going to bring it into the greens. So I'm just trying to do these kind of in rainbow order. This is possibly one of my favourite colours. I really do like this green. And it's a nice shade of green. And you'll see that I am bringing the yellow down a bit more so we don't lose it all. The only colour I had problems with was the blue, which is coming up next. So you'll see it does go a little bit scratchy. Scratchy the right word, maybe? I'm not sure. Either way, it's not the word I'm looking for, but it'll do. You'll see it's a little bit liney. However, I do manage to get most of it through, and obviously I'm going to add the rest of the stencil, the text part to the stencil, so you're not really going to notice it. And I think once I go over it with the green to kind of blend it back up again, you can't really tell that it's not as neat as the rest, so it works out okay in the end. And then last but not least, my favourite colour, purple. I do like purple, so I'm just going to pop that to fill in the rest of the spaces. And I do always love the way the blue and the purple actually blend together. I always find that is a really nice mix. Once I've done that, I will take the stencil off just to show you how those turned out. To clean my stencils off, just under warm water, I do use some glitter paste in a bit, and I do use some soap when I take the glitter paste off. You do just want to make sure you get them nice and clean because you don't want to transfer any ink onto the next thing that you stencil. you don't want to be stenciling something in a very nice pale grey and get a chunk of purple in. It's not going to work. So those are the hearts, done with the nice rainbow. I do genuinely love the way that turned out. It makes me happy. So I'm just going to show you both of those, or just that one more bit. And then I am going to use my first ever shimmer paste. So this is Cosmic Shimmer Paste. It's a really beautiful silver colour. So I'm just giving it a little bit of a mix up, and I'm taking some out with my palette knife, and I am just smoothing that across the stencil. So you can see through these stencils, as you can see the hearts that I've already done through quite clearly. So it's just a case of lining it back up, taping it back down over the background and spreading it on. You do not need a lot. It looks like I've put a lot on, but I've used very little. And any that you don't use, obviously you can scrape it off, as I'm doing there, to fill in the holes, and then just scrape whatever you don't use back into the tub. It is important to make sure you do put the lid back on the tub really nice and sturdy. You don't want it to dry out, because it'll go all claggy and horrible. So that's that one. And then I'm just going to, while my stencil's still already covered, there's no point in cleaning it to redo it, is my theory on that one. So I'm just going to line that back up, try not to put my fingers in all of it, and stick that down over my rainbow background. And then I'm going to use the exact same to do this one. It is quite a thin paste, this, as you're going on. So I did find that I had to push it down slightly more from the top rather than just glide it sideways. The gaps are very small in this text stencil, so it is important to make sure you get plenty of coverage in there. I did leave these to dry overnight. I did them one day and then did the cards the next day. And I've only used one of the backgrounds so far to make cards. So I've only used the grey one. The rainbow one is still waiting, being made into a beautiful, lovely card, which I will obviously share with you guys when I do it, I promise. So that was just me filling in the bits that I thought I'd missed. So this is me lifting it back up again. I was covered. This is proper messy crafting, stenciling and using glitter paste. It's great. Never knew I could have so much fun with glitter paste. So that's just the rainbow one. I'm just trying to see if I can get it to catch the light for you. So again, they do need to dry. Realistically, it was dry within about half an hour or so, but I did pop them overnight. So this is one of the cards that I made. I did actually make 2 cards with the background, the silver one, and believe it or not, I've still got some left over to be able to make a third. So I've just got a standard A2 card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then I've just cut a 3-inch across strip down the middle, and I've used a heart die to cut out a heart from the middle of that. Then I've used the I Love Eucalyptus, I love that pun, from Fawn, to just use some basic, I use my Spectrum Noir Tri-Blends to colour that in, and I just use some foam tape to pop up that little front panel in the middle. I've used my craft knife to just cut the line between his 2 arms so that I can slide that little piece of eucalyptus in so he can hold it properly rather than it just be sat on top of him. I'm then going to use a mixture of foam tape and the glue to stick him down. So I'll use a little bit of foam tape on his little head where it's going to be hanging over into the heart, because obviously I've already raised the heart background up, so I don't want him to flop when he's in the post. So I've just put a little bit of foam tape there and then some wet glue to hold him in place underneath, where he's actually sat on top of the background. I did discover when I put the background through the die cut machine, it did flatten it ever so slightly, but I am still super pleased. I just heat embossed that sentiment using my Fawn silver heat embossing onto some more of the red cardstock. It's Fawn chili pepper, I do believe. Then for the other one, I cut a slightly bigger heart out of more of that chili pepper cardstock, stuck the stenciled heart on top of that, and then just laid up my little koala on top of that again. He's raised up fully on foam pads. So they're the 2 cards I made. So I've used maybe half of my stenciled image, and I've got 2 really cute little Valentine's cards from that. I really do like both of them. It's the first time I've really made many Valentine's cards, and I'm really enjoying it. I hope you've enjoyed my quick little stencils video. There will be more coming, and there will be a lot more Valentine's cards coming because I have loads of Valentine's and birthdays and stuff. See you soon. Bye.